biggest thing about this is don't tie your self-worth to your trading results. Next month, you're going to be King Kong because you've got a $2,000 payout from Hydra, and it's like, whoa, you're on top of the world. But then this previous month, you lost an account. Okay, just move on, dude. Like, just learn from it, move on, and then all of a sudden, next month, you're going to take out a 10K payout.
Above all things, above all these little psychology things that we've kind of talked about, how to manage yourself during losing streaks, taking time off the charts, spending time with your family. Above all of these things, honestly, it's just keep going. Like, just in trading, take it as a long-term game. Don't think about, oh, like I want to make 2% this month, this. No, like your only concern should be, how do I put one foot ahead of the other? How do I keep marching forward? Bad month, good month, doesn't matter. The next step, the next step. What's going on, guys? It's another episode of the Challenge Accepted podcast here with my amazing co-host, James. Not so amazing times currently, and not the happiest topic that we want to talk about in today's episode, but both James and myself have been struggling a little bit on the performance side with trading. It's not been the greatest month for myself. Actually, the start of the year was a little bit rough. Recovered a little bit, and then the last 2 weeks were also a little bit rough. So it's been a bit of a rocky start of the year for myself. And today we want to talk about the psychology side of things, where we want to give you some direct tips. I can tell you exactly the things that I'm doing now because I've taken just over a week off, not off the charts completely, but I haven't placed a trade in over a week. And I've still been keeping an eye on the charts, just following some movements. But I had to take a little bit of time off just to reset a little bit, because psychologically, I feel like when you start to go through periods of rough performance, I would say longer, more extended periods of drawdown affect me a little bit more because they tend to wear me down. Like individual losses don't really bother me anymore, but if I go through an extended period, let's say 2-3 weeks, where performance is dipping, a lot of times I find myself needing to step back a little bit. James, what about yourself? How's it been? Let's be honest with the viewers. We've always been straightforward in this podcast. Let's talk about the last couple of weeks or the past month.
Yeah, past month's been tough. I'm in drawdown on challenges. I lost 100K challenge with Hydra, and just in drawdown overall on pretty much all of my accounts. Something that I have done quite nicely is on some of the accounts I'm actually like kind of break even, which has been quite nice, simply because of not trading all of the accounts at once. But yeah, in drawdown, hasn't been pretty. I've had a negative February, which has not been great, and probably also due to me having my son born in February as well. It's been quite tough, dude. Honestly, it has been quite tough just to find a little bit of momentum. As you said, I think like individual losses obviously also don't hurt me much right now, but it's like this extended periods of drawdown, dude. No matter how long I've been in the game, can be very tough, momentum wise, and also just psychologically wise as well.
So this is the reason why we both are looking a little bit sad today. And in today's episode, we want to talk about mostly trading psychology. We want to give you a couple of top tips of number one, how to manage yourself during extended periods of drawdown. There's two sides to psychology as far as, in my experience. One of the sides is the maintenance side, the things that you do on a regular basis to, make sure you stay sharp mentally, stay focused mentally. And we've talked about that, right? Things like exercise, making sure you're eating healthy, going to play golf, not doing drugs, just things like just things like that, make sure that you're sharp mentally to help you perform and stay on your A game. But in today's episode, I kind of want to talk about specifically what we're going through, because I've gone through some periods of like this where I've decided to take a week, 2 weeks, even no trades, not off the charts completely, but no trading. And it's these times that kind of help me reset my focus mentally, reset my, let's say, pain threshold, because that long extended period of drawdown to me is way more infinitely painful than any singular loss, because when you manage risk correctly, your losses don't really hurt you. You're not blowing up your account within 2 or 3 trades. You're not risking 11% of your account per trade, for example. But once these individual losses don't bother you anymore, you still have to deal with extended periods of drawdown, which is like, yeah, your risk management's on point, but your win distribution is just not where it normally is. And you have to be able to handle and deal with these periods. And James and I today, I think I want to get into a little bit of what do I do during periods like this. And I would say we can take turns going. I'm going to go with the top one thing that I love to do here. Top one thing is, for me, I like to spend time outdoors. Now, I
Yes.
live in a beautiful place. I live in Bali where, the weather is amazing and, we have beautiful beaches and stuff. And I like to spend time outdoors. I like to spend time on the beach. And, I'm quite an extrovert. So I do enjoy spending some extra time with my friends, just, playing like I've been playing a lot of board games recently, mostly Catan
Ah,
with the homies. So yeah, I've just been spending a little bit more time actually socializing, playing board games, doing things with my friends, just going out for a nice meal, going to watch a sunset. Spending time with friends and spending time outdoors has always been a way for me to recharge myself, regardless of where the emotional and psychological stress comes from. Right. So if you are struggling with an extended period, like, don't be afraid to take some time off, is what I would say. That's something that I had to get over. First, I had to get over the FOMO of like, I need to make back the money that I lost. Right. First, you have to get rid of that. That doesn't come up in my brain anymore. I never try to chase losses or anything because it's never ended well. It's only ended ever in blown accounts.
yeah.
But once you get over that, you start to realize, okay, cool, but I still need a healthy way to channel this. So for me, spending time outdoors, spending time with friends, and the people that I love and care about is the thing that I prioritize, because I'm like, that recharges me, right? And what about you, James? Like, what do you do? Like, if you're taking some time off the charts, let's say taking a week break from trading just to reset psychologically, are there things that you do to help your mental and emotional, levels reset?
Yeah, 100%. I love playing golf. I love spending time with family as well. During these times, you kind of also got to, and I think a big thing for me is not putting your identity in actually your trading results.
Mm.
Actually have
Oh, I
that's why
love
you
that.
have
I love that.
yeah.
Love that.
It's like you have to have other things that you do outside of trading. Like I think we've spoken about this many a time because we always keep it real on the podcast, about wins, losses, everything like that. It's not going to always be beautiful and pretty. That's for sure. So it's, one day at a time, and also just getting off the day. Sometimes like a good thing for me is just taking like a mental, like a break from trading. Like I'll maybe watch the charts, like, but I won't place a trade, for a week. And it can actually be something that's really, really neat. Or like maybe I'll just like, okay, let me just trade on one of my prop firm accounts and not on like all of them. So that is something really, really neat. Also, you guys also got to see that, trading kind of moves in like flows. This is something actually quite interesting. If you are only trading FX, well, maybe your trading is taking a little bit of a dip because you're only trading FX. FX market could be a bit dead. That's why it's good to have like FX indexes and maybe a little bit of stocks as well, because then maybe indexes are moving, but FX isn't, or commodities are moving, but FX isn't, whatever it is, or FX is not moving, but you trying to trade, NASDAQ, whatever it is, things go through momentum, like momentum swings, just like your trading can, and I think it's sometimes good to also, as I said, not place your identity in your trading, but just, actually come back, reassess. And let me use this as an example. End of last year, I had some really, really nice payouts with a few of the prop firms. And coming into this year, I'm on bone dry, right now during this period of February. And it is what it is. You got it at a good January, but now February's being bone dry and you got to take it for what it is. You kind of just have to reset and be like, listen, I know I can do this. 1 month I can have like great payouts and the next month can be literally nothing. So that's how trading is. And you just need to take it for what it is and move forward. Get out of play some golf. I think that's really helped me, dude.
Yeah, I'd love to kind of expand on this topic a little bit more of, don't get your identity tied. Don't tie your identity to your P&L. I think that's something that I struggled a lot with starting out in trading the first 2 years. I think I was just, it was a lot of results-based thinking. Firstly, that's
Yeah.
an egregious, the one of the worst things you can do in any game of variance is to have results-based thinking. It would be the same thing to, let's say, go to the casino and, let's say, play roulette right? And you bet a couple times. Let's say you make money. To results-based thinking would be saying, hey, I won money, I have an edge on the house, when we know
Sure.
mathematically you don't, right? Like that's the kind of trap that results-based thinking can lead you into. It can
Yeah.
lead you into false hope, like false positives, as well as false negatives. False negatives meaning if you lose a couple trades, right? If you have a losing stretch of distribution, I know that statistically for me, my win rate should be around 39%. 39 to 40% is typically where my win rate sits.
Sure.
And in the past, since the beginning of the year, my win rate's been just under 30%. So there's been almost a 10% drop from where I know my average is, right? And this is not over a terribly large sample of trades. This is maybe over 41 trades, if I remember correctly, maybe 44. I don't know the exact number, but 41 or 44 trades. I've won at a significantly lower clip. My risk reward has been on point. If anything, it's been higher. That's something that I've been working on this year. Just a small tweak to the system. But my win rate, the win distribution has not been there for me. And I know that at some point is going to, if I catch a hot streak, if I win, 4, 5, 6 trades in a row because of how I trade, because of my RR, right? On average, my winners are 2.3 plus RR,
Sure.
right? And that number has actually been climbing this year. Like this year, I'm actually at about 2.6 RR as opposed to compared to last year where I was at 2.3. So I know that if I have a winning streak, which can come at any time, the P&L is going to change. The win rate is going to change drastically, right? Because small sample size, right? I just need to win 3, 4, 5 trades in a row, and that win rate's going to probably, if I win 5 trades in a row, that win rate's probably going to exceed, be over.
Yeah.
But if I win like maybe 3 trades, 4 trades in a row, it's going to be right back there on average, right? So I know exactly what part of my trading. This is why we preach, journaling and like keeping track of your data and statistics so much on this podcast, because I look at the numbers and I know where my averages are at. I know I haven't changed my trading in any majorly significant way, and I just know that I'm getting a bad distribution currently, or an unfavorable.
Yeah.
I don't even like to use the term bad, right? Like bad, good. We play this game. Like we open ourselves to risk. There's no bad or good. There's just outcomes.
It's
Right?
variant.
Maybe they are positive or negative in your eyes, but the market doesn't care. Right? So for you to tie yourself, coming back to this point of like tying yourself and your identity to the results is madness, because at any given point in time, you could go through a losing streak. You don't know how many trades out of the next 10 you're going to win or lose. No one does, right? But over the course of the next 100 to 200 trades, I know that I'm very likely to have a positive expected value. EV is something that we talk about, right? So this is my major tip to you guys. Is like, don't tie yourself to results-based thinking. Tie yourself to expected value. This is something that I practice and learn from poker. In poker, all you talk about is EV. Every single thing. EV ties to life. Expected value, meaning if you make a decision, right, over the long run, do you expect this decision to yield on average a positive result? On average. Not the individual decision itself, but the expected value. Do I expect this to make money, right? Like, let's say you make, on average, you expect to make $10 per trade, but not every trade is going to win. You're going to keep betting, right? So don't tie yourself to the results. Tie yourself to expected value. And another thing that I would say, instead of tying yourself to results, it can lead to you trying to chase back losses, make back money, all this kind of terrible behavior. One of the things that I found has helped me a lot is when I'm going through these losing streaks, when I'm going through periods of drawdown, one thing that I've always found comfort in is going to backtest, or even taking a step back and, let's say, going paper trading. Like it's okay to take it's okay to take a step back. Think of it as a psychological reset. I really like backtesting because number one, it's collecting more data for me, right? And then number two, I'm able to like affirm to myself that like my system is working and that it's still going good, and I'm able to like create that affirmation. And a lot of times that is the little psychological kick that I kind of need. Right. James, are there things that you do, tied to trading? We talked about family, golf, and resetting friends and all that. But are there things that you would say are tied to trading that you could do outside? Maybe do you ever like read books? Do you kind of like watch videos? Is there stuff tied to trading that you can do, that you think you can do, that's not directly trading for taking time off, and you still want to feel like you're staying in touch?
Yeah, I definitely think like reading trading books are always gonna be good. I enjoy like Jared Tendler's The Mental Game of Trading. That type of stuff is always gonna be fun, and I think also puts things into perspective because sometimes I think I like what you say there. Expected value. What is you got to always look at what your expected value is. I know for me, when I'm trading poorly, my risk reward ratio is poor. I need to get that up, right? So it's like if you don't have a positive expectancy value, it doesn't matter how strong your mind game is. You need to get that up. So working on things like actually like taking a step back and actually being like, okay, what do I need to work on to improve? Because there's clearly something that's stopping you from making money. If DY is making money this month, or what is he doing that I'm not doing? Okay, cool. His risk reward ratios. He's making 2 times the amount on his winners than on his losers. Cool. I need to get my risk reward ratio up. There always something in your trading that you need to be looking at, and that's why I love it. It's always like a game of like poker or chess. You need to find out what you're doing, what you're doing wrong. Where can you improve? It's like your next move essentially. But yeah, off the desk, I think that keeping up to date. I think also just going over your data, like that's fun too. Like going over your TradeZilla data, what the hell's actually working, what's not. Okay, cool. I need to adjust this and take it from there.
Yeah, I think those are two of the key things that you can do. Like, for example, what I was just talking about earlier, right? Like, I know where my average win rate usually is. I know where my average RR usually is.
Yeah,
And if my RR has been going up, but my win rate I see is 10% below what I'm used to seeing from the previous year,
sure.
that's a pretty comforting fact to me, because on a much smaller sample size, yeah, let's say, I haven't been performing, or the system hasn't been performing. That's okay, because all my other stats when I check are looking good, right? Everything's looking healthy. I'm taking the same amount of trades that I'm expecting to trade. I'm taking, risk wise, everything is perfect. Then I know the distribution hasn't gone my way, and I just need to keep going. I need to make sure that I stay healthy mentally. I need to make sure that I execute. I need to make sure I don't hesitate. That's the biggest struggle with me, is, hesitating. Like, I tend to, some people struggle with like over risking, over trading. I tend to go the opposite way, where I'm like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't take this setup. I tend to almost go like not taking enough trades, because I get a little bit hesitant. I'm like, and when I start to hesitate, that's when I know I need to take a little bit of a step back and say, hey, like, why are you afraid of pulling the trigger? You have edge. Go and pull the
Yeah.
trigger, right? So if I'm struggling a little bit with pulling the trigger, that's when I know, okay, let's take a week off. Just
Yeah.
don't trade, watch the charts, or do some back testing. Grow your confidence again, or allow yourself to mentally recharge, because when you're going through a losing streak, it's hard to not be like, oh yeah, the next trade's also going to be a loser, like
Ah,
it's also
yeah.
going to be, like, it's just, this is your
Yeah.
this is the human brain, this is the human condition. We all have these like negative self talks, these like, like the negativity does start to creep in, and you have to try to control that a little bit. So yeah, that's really the gist of it. The truth is, trading is not easy, it's not perfect. And I do know that it tends to come in streaks, right? Everyone wants this like beautiful, lovely scenario of, I make 2% per month on a 200K account, and
Yeah, on average, yeah, every month.
and it's great. Yeah, but that's not, you don't get to do 2% a month. I don't, like, you just don't. That's not how it happens. You're going to have some up months, you're going to have some down months, and
Oh yeah.
hopefully over the course of a year, when you look back, you've made some profit. And if you're really a pretty good trader, you've outperformed the S&P, right? You've returned more than the money that would be sitting inside an index fund. If you can already outperform S&P, that's already a great marker for yourself. You're outperforming the market, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's the last point I kind of want to touch on, psychologically speaking, is managing your expectations. All right.
Sure.
Managing your expectations of yourself, of your performance, and of the, let's say, not getting so caught up in the dollar amount, right? Like, how much money am I going to make from trading? That's all
Mm.
going to come in due time, right? But not tying yourself. This is very similar to what we talked about earlier, which is like the results-based thinking stuff. Get away from all of that type of thing, and get away from like just getting caught up in, oh, like I need to make 2%, this and that set the expectations low. Like, be realistic. And this is why we do this podcast. This is why we talk about stuff. We're not up here blowing smoke up your ass every day. Oh, James made 50K payout. Like, I'm up 70% on the year. Like, this is not the reality, right?
With an average risk of 11%.
Yeah, James is risking 11% per trade, and he made $50,000 of payouts in a month. This is not the real.
We give you the real scenario
always, and we're not afraid to share. James and I are both currently underperforming. Let's just say for our usual expected results, I'm definitely below par. 29 versus 39%. I'm 10% lower on my distribution. Am I going to get mad at myself for feeling a little bit beat up psychologically? Like, I'm human. I am going to get affected mentally. I'm not a robot. So,
dude, I think that's, sorry, just to butt in, that's also like one of the things is like, you got to also say like, okay, yeah, it's shit, feel it, but then just like move on. And I think, as I said, I think the biggest thing about this is don't tie your self-worth to your trading results. Next month, you're going to be King Kong because you've got a $2,000 payout from Hydra, and it's like, whoa, you're on top of the world. But then this previous month, you lost an account. Okay, just move on, dude. Like, just learn from it, move on, and then all of a sudden, next month, you're going to take out a 10K payout. And then as long as you're going to be net positive, I mean, we spoke about this quite often on the, we spoke about, I think it was on Dylan's podcast, how much can you make from trading? As I said, in the first like 3 years, if you can come in and make 50K in a year trading from prop firms, that's really, really good. And then you can build from that. Use it as a foundation. Okay, cool. You got your first prop firm payout. Perfect. Build on that, move forward. And now all of a sudden, you're going to start making some more money. So yeah, one of my friends actually, literally today, he withdrew $8,000 from a prop firm. Last year, he literally withdrew $1,500 the whole year. I think he spent $4,000 on the challenges, so he was down negative on the year.
Yeah, it was negative. Yeah.
He was negative. This year, he spent $1,000 on prop firm challenges. He's withdrawn now, and this is his second $8,000 withdrawal. He withdrew $8,000 in January. So he's now, and I think his total this year is actually about $19,000. And he spent $1,200, I think he told me. So he's net this year, already 18K, and he was net, you know what I'm saying? So there you go. He just got a little bit of confidence. Now he's, getting it more over the line. So, you got to, again, like, look at that. He's working. He's getting better. It's inspiring to see. It's motivating for a lot of guys in our group chat. So take it one day at a time. Yourself.
The moral of the story here, guys, above all things, above all these little psychology things that we've kind of talked about, how to manage yourself during losing streaks, taking time off the charts, spending time with your family. Above all of these things, honestly, it's just keep going. Like, just in trading, take it as a long-term game. Don't think about, I want to make 2% this month. No, like, your only concern should be, how do I put one foot ahead of the other? How do I keep marching forward? Bad month, good month, doesn't matter. The next step. Always, how can I improve? How can is there additional way? Do I really have an edge? Go and figure that out through your trading data. Do I need to work on my risk management? Go and figure that out through your trading data, right? Do I need to work on my psychology? Well, look around and start to understand how you feel. Are you anxious? Are you like me? Are you hesitating, or are you over trading? Go back to the data, right? Like, I know I'm starting to hesitate when my trades per week or per month start to drop. If you are the type that over trades, you're going to see your trades go, like in the past week. Well, why have I taken 40 trades when I'm usually taking 20, or if you are the type that tends to try to chase back losses, why am I risking 11% instead of 2% per trade, right? Like, look at the numbers, and the numbers tell you.
Just on this is like, yes, you got to look at it from an objective point of view, but I like what you said there, is that you just got to keep going. Like, honestly, like, if you quit, you'll never know. Like, I know, as I said, like, look at my friend. In fact, imagine my friend just said, dude, trading's not really for me. I'm going to stop. And I'm going to do, because he's got another job that he does, whatever. So he's making good money already. But he's like, imagine if he just quit. Well, then he wouldn't have just got $20,000 in payouts in 2 months. And then now all of a sudden, it's like the guy's unstoppable. And I told him he's going to hit the drawdown streak. It's going to happen. I'm not trying to be a negative person. But like, now he's got a little bit of confidence. Hey, shit, I can actually do this. And as soon as you get that, you actually start to believe in yourself. And it's amazing what self-belief and confidence actually bring in individuals. Because now you actually like, okay, I lost today. Perfect. I'm going to come back tomorrow. And it is an amazing thing. It's like, even in golf, like let's look at this, because I know Diva and I both love our golf, and I hope a couple of listeners enjoy their golf too. Otherwise, you should stop listening. But like look at Scotty Scheffler. Like in 2022, that guy had been on the tour for like literally a couple of years, hadn't won one tournament. All of a sudden, he wins the Bay Hill, the Arnold Palmer Classic, and then all of a sudden, in that same year, he goes on to win the Masters, goes on to win the PGA, Players Championship. So it's like,
and then he's world number one,
and now world number one is like literally unbeatable. It's like, what he always competes. It's like, as soon as you have that self belief, it's amazing what actually comes into the equation. So those listening, just if you don't quit, don't put your self-worth in your trading, but don't quit, and just one day at a time.
And I think this episode, is for you guys. I want to appreciate you if you are still listening right now, because number one, we know that this is not the sexiest episode. We know what it's like.
Yeah.
When we talk about losing and psychology, like suddenly everyone's not interested. Everyone wants to see a fucking $50,000 payout and like Lambos and whatnot. But for those of you that are still listening in today's episode, if you are struggling, with a little bit of drawdown, just know that we're right here with you.
Yeah.
That you are not alone in this, right? Like and that's why I appreciate having someone like James in my life, a brother to talk about trading with, keep in touch with life, because we understand what it's like to be traders. So if you don't have anyone to talk to about this, we hope that like this little episode, misery loves company. So, let the drawdown crew join us in the drawdown crew circle. And hopefully this episode has been helpful for you.
Diwa, maybe we can do this. I would like to, for those that are still listening, I would like to maybe do a free giveaway for a trader that is listening to the episode right now. Maybe you and I can both do a call with them, maybe look at their data, give them an objective point of view, something like that. Or just have a chat with them, maybe for 30 minutes, whatever it is. I'll do a free giveaway with the trader. Maybe we can, do a random spin giveaway, whatever it is. But comment below if you want to enter the competition. Comment below, Drawdown Crew. And for those that commented, we will put you guys into a hat, and we will do a free call with you guys that want to do it. So maybe
I love this idea. If you are, we'll figure out what we're gonna give away, but we'll see if even anyone comments. But if you're still watching this, comment Drawdown Crew in the comments below, and if just one person comments, you're just gonna be the winner. We're gonna try and reach out to you and do something. But yeah, just drop a comment below, and welcome to the Drawdown Crew. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We're gonna call it a day, and appreciate you for being here always. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It helps us a lot. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Yes, sir.